Good morning, my friends. I am Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this is Enlightened Fitness. Where first we'll we will cunningly use high-intensity bodyweight interval training to cultivate the body of a Tantric Sex God, and then we'll use guided meditation to help you cultivate both the heart and the mind of a Buddha. Now, in a nutshell, there are 5 easy steps to get the body of a Tantric Sex God. Number 1, drink only water. Number 2, eat 2 meals a day, preferably lunch and dinner. 3, subsist on a low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet. 4, rely on a minimal equipment bodyweight fitness, and apply that bodyweight fitness within the paradigm of interval training. Do those 5 things consistently every day, and you will see changes. One of my students is in her 50s. She's had numerous health problems, but after following this guidance, even in a kind of halfway manner, she's getting great results to her husband's delight. I'd say more, but then I'd start to blush. Folks, it doesn't matter how hard you exercise, if you're going to eat crap food, you're going to get crap results. 70% of weight loss is contingent upon what you put in your mouth. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, having said that, I'm going to draw your attention to the links below the video. About 3 inches below the video, there's a button that says, or that reads, Show More. When you give that a click, it'll reveal a list of links as long as my arm. The second link on the list will take you to a page on my website entitled Whole Food Plant-Based Nutrition. And there are many, many books that you can order for a substantial discount at Amazon.com, and there's lots of free stuff too. There's free videos and free PDFs and free and stuff like that. I give you the books for free, but I don't own the copyright, so I can't do that. One of the books I recommend is the McDougall Program for a Maximum Weight Loss. Allow me to read you a portion right now. The heading reads, Nobody can get rid of all that fat. The prime cause of overweight and illness for most Americans are twofold: a rich, fat-laden diet and a sedentary lifestyle. These 2 factors alone can place an overwhelming burden on the human body. Even a highly conditioned athlete might not be able to burn all the calories that might enter the system with fatty foods. In 1990, I was appearing on a talk show in Minneapolis to promote my book, The McDougall Program, 12 Days to Dynamic Health. Also appearing on the show was a world champion track and field athlete, Carl Lewis, who, as you probably know, set the world record in the 100-meter dash in 9.86 seconds, and won multiple gold medals in the 1988 Olympics. He would do it again at the Barcelona Games in '92. While we were waiting to go on the show, Carl explained to me that he was having trouble controlling his weight. It was affecting his running performance. Now, if you saw the 88 or 92 Olympics, you know that Carl is one of the greatest and best conditioned athletes of modern times. Yet he was having trouble controlling his weight. Later, in an interview with Runner's World magazine in August of '92, he recalled his dilemma. I had a hard time keeping my weight down, Lewis said. I never ate. I was starving myself to death and to keep that thin racing form. Then I bumped into John McDougall in In fact, Carl was having the same problem with fat that most Americans have. There are just too many calories packed into fat for the body to burn away efficiently. Ultimately, fatty food is going to add weight to your body, even if you happen to be a world-class athlete. I'm going to stop reading for a second and just talk. These words come from me, not from John. If you look at the body biologically, if you look at the body anthropologically or archaeologically, fat was never about keeping our bodies beautiful. Our fat hoarding mechanism is about keeping our bodies alive, keeping our bodies when the seasons prevented the harvesting of food, or when plagues or blights or droughts prevented the harvesting of food, the eating of food. And so fat was never about beauty, it was about keeping us alive. It wasn't about optimizing our health or optimizing our athletic performance. It was about keeping death at bay. If you look at us biologically and compare us to other carbon-based life forms, if you compare us to other mammals, we do not have prodigious fangs. We do not have sharp claws. We do not have great strength. In fact, I was speaking with a veterinarian about this. The placement of our tendon adhesions, our attachments on our bones in proximity to our joints guarantees that we're going to have relatively low strength when compared to the other great apes. A chimpanzee, which is often 1/2 or less our weight, often has 6 to 7 times more our strength. That's not because they do isometrics or because they take a special supplement. It's because of the way where their tendons are placed on their bones. So biologically speaking, it is as if nature set us up to rely primarily on our brain, because our body was, compared to the other animals, not very strong or fast or fierce. One of the things that kept us alive throughout the millennia has been our body's ability to hoard fat. Once again, not for beauty, but for survival. So now we're living, at a time where arguably, 9 times out of 10, there is a supermarket in every postal zone. You can't go 10 miles without bumping into a grocery store. You can't go 5 miles without bumping into a convenience store. So starvation, for those of us who are not homeless or not living in a society plagued by famine, starvation is no longer an issue for the majority of us. But we still have this ancient fat hoarding mechanism. Having said that, we need to be very respectful of it. If we wish to have great athletic prowess, great longevity, great health, or even great beauty. Allow me to continue. I explained this to Carl and gave him a copy of my book, and he started the McDougall diet. Very soon thereafter, he began to feel the benefits of the program and shared his experience with others, including his teammates on the world record-setting 4x100-meter relay team. In the interview with Runner's World, Carl said, "I encouraged Leroy Burrell and Floyd Hurd to try it too, and we all lost weight. But the big thing was I felt a little better with it, and I've stayed with it." Remember, he went on to win the '92 Olympics as well. When asked if the McDougall program had influenced his performance, Lewis said, "I think it had a lot to do with my performance last year. I'm not saying it made me faster, but it helped keep me thinner and lowered my stress level. It allowed me to eat more consistently and still stay thin." In fact, Cora Lewis set the world record for the 100-meter dash, won 2 gold medals, and had the best long jump series of his career, 29 feet 3 times, while on the McDougall program. Quick aside. The strongest proponents of the paleo diet, bless their meat-chewing hearts, are not proponents of endurance athletic performance. If you do a survey of world-class endurance athletes, runners, swimmers, cyclists, triathletes, they're not going to be on the paleo diet. Paleo diet's fun if you're going to abuse your body with CrossFit, and we'll get to CrossFit in another video. But if you want to have long, steady distance and increase your athletic performance in an elite state, you're going to do much better in a low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet. Really, really well. Let's continue. Chances are good that you're not working out every day like Carl Lewis. Certainly I'm not. Yet, if he couldn't control his weight on his old diet, how can you or I expect to do it? The answer is that we can't. This is the immovable fact that causes most overweight people to feel out of control, victimized by food, and condemned to a corpulent figure. Perhaps you have had periods of weight loss that, looking back, seem all too temporary and all too hard-won. These heroic efforts cannot be maintained forever. But if you believe that you are a failure because you cannot lose weight on a standard American diet, or some facsimile of it, you are wrong. The chances of anyone losing weight on some version of a high-fat diet are remote. According to a report from the Council on Scientific Affairs of the Journal of the American Medical Association, despite a multitude of programs designed to treat obesity, success in treatment is often difficult to achieve. If a cure for obesity is defined as reduction to desired weight and maintenance of that weight for 5 years, it is more likely that a person will be cured of most forms of cancer than obesity. This is why people are fed up with diets and why there is a backlash against dieting in America. As long as you're eating fatty foods, you won't be able to lose weight. You may succeed in starving yourself for a while, and indeed you may even lose weight temporarily, but that weight will come back for most people, and that causes frustration. Today, 40% of Americans are overweight. When children are eliminated from the numbers, we see that nearly 2/3 of all adults exceed the ideal weight for their height. 25% are clinically obese. As long as we go on eating an overabundance of fat, Americans will continue to be overweight. But there is another component of weight loss that has to be widely recognized: our need for carbohydrates. That is where we will continue in the next video. Now, it's time to work out. Before we do, I want to remind you again about those great links. Those links have all the information you need. They're going to teach you how to do the Indian-style warm-up. They're going to teach you how to do the exact exercises I'm doing today. They can teach you how to do easier versions of those exercises and even more challenging versions of those exercises. Those links will teach you how to sit comfortably for meditation, how to count your finger creases, and how to meditate. They'll also teach you how to do the cool down, including the geriatric yoga, also known as untying the heart's knots, and the Indian as well as Vietnamese cooling down exercises. So if you have questions or confusions, don't be alarmed. They're natural and they will be answered with the links below this video. The first link will take you to a page on my website entitled Enlightened Fit. Actually, I think it's entitled Body Weight Circuitry. But it's where I keep all the Enlightened fitness videos links. And I've organized them first by length of workout. So there's a box full of 10-minute workouts, a box full of 3-minute workouts, a box full of 8-minute workouts, a box full of 12-minute workouts. You get the idea. So do yourself a favor and start at your fitness level. Remember, this is not a gentle workout. This is vigorous. It's maximum intensity for a short period of time. That's designed to leave you breathless and drenched in sweat. That's why we're able to get a whole day's workout in just 12 minutes. We supercharge the metabolism through the intensity of whole body fitness. And that way our metabolism keeps going at an accelerated rate for 36 hours after the workout, which is what some people call the afterburner effect. Wow! Okay. I'm going to take a quick moment to grab some disgusting medicine. Ugh. Okay, my friend, let's warm up by performing 2 repetitions of Indian-inspired 12-phase sun salutation. Okay, we're breathing a little deeper. We've broken the sweat. Well done. Please join me now for 5 circuits of 5 exercises each. Pardon. Okay. Let's begin by combining the heel squat with a side leg lift. Okay. Toe squats. Oh. Woof. Oh. Okay. Hiking press. First set, hiking press. first set of thrusters. First set of chins. Pardon. Welcome to the second circuit. Woo. Second heels. Second toes. Second pike or press. Thrust. Pardon. Second chin. Welcome to the third circuit. There's a whole video dedicated to each exercise. Third heels. their toes. Three press, I should say third press. Third thrust. Third, chin. Welcome to the fourth circuit. Let's begin with fourth heels. Looks like I'm going to dive, doesn't it? Fourth, toes. Fourth, press. Now thrust. Excuse me. Okay. Fourth, chins. Welcome to the fifth and final circuit. You're excited to be here? Excited to have this be done? Fifth heels. Fifth toes. Fifth press. Okay. Fifth thrust. Fifth and final chins. Okay, that's it, my friends. Okay. Oh, do you want to be the headless llama? Wow. Okay. Water, beverage of choice. Okay, last guided meditation was 21 minutes long. This will most likely be 24 minutes long. And maybe now, remember I told you about the first link. It takes you to the body weight circuit training page, where all the Enlightened fitness videos are first sorted by length of workout. Within each box, however, on that page, the workouts are again sorted by length of meditation. Start with a 3-minute guided meditation. Work your way up gradually. You'll be glad you did. And hey, listen, if you've been meditating for 20 years, this is a perfect opportunity for you to exercise humility and begin with a 3-minute meditation. If you're too spiritual to be humble, you've taken a wrong turn. I'm going to read again from this English translation of Karma Chogme's root text entitled The Quintessence of Spiritual Practice, the Direct Instructions by the Great Compassionate One. Karma Chogme Rinpoche was one of the early Rime Manipas, or non-sectarian devotees of the Buddha of Compassion. Rime meaning non-sectarian, Manipa means person of the Mani, or person defined by Omanipa Mihim, or devotee of the Buddha of Compassion. Let's continue. I'd wear my glasses, but they get steamed right now. Buddhas and sentient beings are of equal kindness in benefiting one's attainment of complete enlightenment, because without practicing the 6 transcending actions, there is no way to attain perfect Buddhahood. Okay, what does that mean? What are the 6 transcending actions? Giving, morality, patience, zeal, concentration, and wisdom. Now, obviously, zeal, concentration, and wisdom have a lot to do with the meditation. The giving, morality, and patience have a lot to do with people. And since all 6 perfections are required to accomplish enlightenment, both a relationship to the teachings and a relationship to other folks can affect our journey on the path. If we were to ask a fundamentalist teacher what the meaning of life is, he'd say, well, of course, my son, that means the meaning of life can be found by gathering the 2 collections for the 2 purposes. Well, that's pretty cryptic, don't you think? So we'd probably just blink at him and gaze at him oddly. And if we were fortunate, he'd explain, well, the 2 collections are the collection of good karma and the collection of wisdom. And the 2 purposes are attaining enlightenment for oneself. The second person is that once you've accomplished the path, so you can turn around and help others do likewise. We don't want to be a selfish bastard like Eric Cartman on South Park and say, screw you guys, I'm going home. No. Once you accomplish the path, you help others who want your help. So, the 2 collections, the collection of good karma and the collection of wisdom. So it could be said, we gather the good collection of wisdom through zeal, awareness, and wisdom. And we gather the collection of good karma through giving, morality, patience. It's very easy to define ourselves by our relationship to whatever we worship. But that wouldn't ensure we'll be a good person. We have to define ourselves by how we relate to other people as well. That's why it says in the Christian New Testament, or that's why it reads in the Christian New Testament, in 1 Corinthians 13, that if one hath not love, one hath nothing. And if you think about that, nothing is an enormous word, and it includes everything. including salvation. So it can be inferred by many scholars that according to 1 Corinthians 13, if one has no love for human beings, then one's devotion to the divine is rendered impotent and flaccid. So the text is saying it's not enough to be wise, you have to be loving and compassionate as well. Let's continue. Poor and destitute beings are the objects for practicing generosity. The objects for cultivating compassion are sentient beings who also suffer. Even all your enemies and those who make obstacles, returning harm for help, are aids to enlightenment, since they support the cultivation of patience. By realizing this, generate the courage of the noble aspiration to establish by yourself all beings without bias or partiality in the state of Buddhahood. This is the profound teaching called generating bodhicitta. So that's what we'll stop reading today. So, and we're going to explore that in just a bit more depth. For some reason in America and in England, there are lots of scholars who try to write books about meditation based exclusively on academic research. Well, that's a lot like asking a virgin for sexual advice. It might sound good on paper, but it really doesn't work practically. That's why in Tantric Buddhism we emphasize the union of the path of the scholar and the path of the yogi. So anyway, these dumb white people write these books saying that mystifying bodhicitta. They say a bodhisattva is someone who is postponing enlightenment until they can benefit others, until everyone else has become enlightened. Well, that sounds very romantic, and that sounds very noble, but that's not what the Dalai Lamas have taught. According to the Dalai Lamas, there are 3 different types of bodhicitta. 2 are idealistic, 1 is practical. First idealistic flavor of bodhicitta, or the path of the bodhisattva, is what they call shepherd's bodhicitta. Just as a shepherd opens the gate, lets the sheep into the gate, and then closes the gate behind the sheep, likewise the bodhisattva practicing shepherd's bodhicitta makes sure everyone else is enlightened first, and then he accomplishes enlightenment. And that sounds very gentlemanly, like a guy on a date opening the door for his girlfriend. Sounds very nice, but it's not practical. You can't guide someone to a place you haven't been. Once again, that's like asking a virgin for sexual advice. The second flavor of bodhicitta is the ferryman-like bodhisattva. Just as a ferryman of old would stand on the raft, and passengers would get on the raft, aboard the raft, and then together he would guide all of them across the river simultaneously. Likewise, the idea of a bodhisattva who practices ferryman's bodhicitta says, you and all others accomplish enlightenment at the exact same moment. That sounds lovely. Doesn't that sound democratic? But it just ain't pragmatic, because you can't guide someone to a place you haven't been. The third type of bodhicitta is royal bodhicitta, and this is the form of bodhicitta that all the Dalai Lamas recommend, and that Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom, recommends, and that Shantideva, the great Buddhist saint of India, recommends. and all the other great Buddhist saints of India, including Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, Aryadeva, and the like. Not to mention Vasubandhu, Bandhu, and Arya Asanga. So, all the great scholars and saints of India concur that it's royal bodhicitta that works. Well, great. What then is royal bodhicitta? As bodhicitta says, first the bodhisattva crosses the threshold of enlightenment and becomes a Buddha. Then, having understood intellectually as well as viscerally both the path to enlightenment and the experience of enlightenment, as well as the maintenance of enlightenment, is then most equipped to give all of humanity, all sentient beings, a helping hand, helping them do likewise. That's what it means to be a bodhisattva. To say, I choose to accomplish the path, become a Buddha, and regardless of what my emotions say, I choose to be motivated by the desire to benefit all other living beings. And here's the reason. Our selfishness can only take us so far, and then it peters out. We need a motivation larger than ourselves to complete the path. Well, it could be larger than ourselves, than all the sentient beings and all the worlds and all the universes of the multiverse. That's a whole lot of sentient beings who are suffering from the same things we're suffering. They're suffering from anger, they're suffering from fear, they're suffering from frustrated desires, they're suffering from confusion, they're suffering from pride, they're suffering from jealousy, they're suffering circumstantially, they're suffering socially, they're suffering physically, they're suffering emotionally, they're suffering intellectually, they're suffering spiritually. Every living being is experiencing some type of suffering to some degree or another. Learning to care about that is compassion and love. Allowing our journey to enlightenment to be motivated by that is bodhicitta. Choosing to embrace the path of bodhicitta makes us a bodhisattva. When we have mastered all the techniques on Buddha's path to the point of being able to practice them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively, then we are a Buddha. It's really quite simple. Oh. Well, I've stopped panting. My garments are soaking wet, so let's meditate. So let's aim for a 24-minute meditation. And we're going to begin with the Lam Rim and conclude by emphasizing a circuit of love and letting go, and love and letting go, and love and letting go. It's really quite fun. Pardon. Please sit comfortably and erect. Left hand in lap, palm up. Right hand in lap and left, palm up. Thumbs do not touch each other. Remember, there's a video about how to sit, a video about how to count your creases on your fingers. Let's start with the dichotomy of fear and peace. No one likes fear, everyone likes peace. So that's how we'll begin. On second thought, before we get to that, let's start with the dichotomy. Let's start with three things. In Buddhist wisdom training, when it comes to letting go, we learn how to let go of our body, we learn how to let go of our mind, we learn how to let go of the sense of self, the sense of that there's something in us that's independent and something in us that's permanent. Because quite surely, the fact is we are quite dependent and quite changing. So, of the three, body, mind, and self, the easiest to begin with is body. So that's where we shall start. Our body is grand, it's served us well, but it doesn't satisfy us. Otherwise we wouldn't experience pain, or sickness, or fatigue, or insomnia, or the like. So, it's lovely, yet fails to satisfy. How? And of course, bod, B-O-D, is short for body. How bod not satisfy? Why turn from suffering's cause? Remember, these are rhetorical, well-worded questions. It's our job to ask the question, not answer it. Ask the question on the in-breath, relax on the out-breath. How karma? Be quite just. How this chance be precious. What feeling? Releasing. How could this be funny? Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Now let's change gears to tone lens union of compassionate taking and loving giving. Let's take away everyone's fear, because no one likes that. And let's replace it with peace, because everyone likes that. How could each be kindement? Why take fear as black smoke? How are all more than me? Why give peace as white light? In through nose, out through pores. Take fear smoke, give peace light. Fear, peace. Now let's play with the wisdom of letting go. How bod feel, releasing. How is bod dependent? How could bod always change? Let's try this again. How could bod never last? How could bod not be me? How could bod not be mine? How could bod not be grasped? How could bod be funny? Grin with lips, releasing. Grin with cheeks, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Now we're going to blend two exercises together. We're going to blend Meta's loving kindness with Tonglin's subtle analysis, and we're going to call it analytical loving kindness. Fancy name, easy idea. Come, let's give everyone great wisdom. How wise good, releasing. How wise feel, releasing. Now to me give wisdom. Why give wise, releasing? Now to some give wisdom. How are all more than me? Now to all give wisdom. How could each be kind mom? Now to each give wisdom. That completes our first 24 minutes of meditation. At this point, we should be much more mellower than when we began. We're now going to do a hybrid of the awareness and letting go vipassana with the wisdom of letting go meditation. We're going to call it analytical awareness and letting go. How mind look, releasing. How mind sound, releasing. How mind feel, releasing. How is mind dependent? Remember, these are rhetorical questions. And remember to breathe deep. How could mind always change?
How could mind not be me? How could mind be funny? Grin with eyes, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. So now let's give everyone even greater love for everyone else. Let's continue with analytical loving kindness. How love good, releasing. How love feel, releasing. Now, give to me love for all. Why give love? Releasing. Now to some, let's try this again. Give to some, love for each. How are all more than me? Give to all, love for each. How could each be kind mom? Now to each, let's for the skin, give to each, love for all. Let's return to the analytical union of awareness and letting go. Remember, these questions are rhetorical. How I look, which is short for how do I look? How I look, releasing. How I sound, releasing. How I feel, releasing. How am I dependent? How could I always change? How could I not be me? Remember, these are rhetorical questions. Power does not come from chasing your tail trying to answer them. The power comes from asking the question and relaxing. How could I not be me. How am I? How could I be funny? Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Remember, my friends, we cannot believe our way to enlightenment. All belief is a form of rigidity, be it intellectual or emotional or physical. It is rigidity. Enlightenment is about letting go. Belief might take us part of the way there, but not all of the way. So I'm not asking you to believe that you don't have a self. I'm asking you to play with these exercises that make it much easier to let go of everything, whether it's real or mythical. Whether it's an empowering belief or a disempowering belief. Just let go. We're going to conclude with the standard loving kindness meditation for joy. How joy good, releasing. How joy feel, releasing. Now to me, give great joy. Now to some, give great joy. Now to all, give great joy. Now to each, give great joy. each joy. And that concludes this morning's 24-minute guided meditation. Being a Buddha, does that mean you never feel a painful emotion ever again? It means that when the painful emotions come, they always do, they aren't your boss. You're able to harness their energy to multiply your renunciation, compassion, wisdom, and love. I invite you to join me for a gentle set of geriatric yoga known as Untying the Heart's Knots. This comes to us from the Gelug sect of Tibetan Buddhism. Please sit erect and place your hands behind your tush. Please open your chest and twist to the left. Why give wise? Releasing. Please reverse now to each give wisdom. Back to center. Please release your hands. Place them in your lap. Swing them out and overhead. Please bend to the left. Why give peace? Releasing. Please reverse. No. Now to each give great peace. Back to center. Let's make our way into downward facing fetal position, which is also known as child's pose. Give to each, love for all. Curl your fingers, ball your fingers into fists, stridently straighten your arms, ride the momentum into the seated samurai position, which is also known as lion's pose.
Please lace your hands behind your tush. Please open your chest, drop your head, roll your gaze up. What seeing, releasing. What hearing, releasing. What feeling, releasing. Please release your hands. Please cup your palms, press your hands together so that the center of each palm is suspended before the upper third of your chest. Please relax your shoulders down. Use your hands to press into a left twist. While give joy, releasing. Back to the center. Relax the shoulders down, twist to the right. Now to each give great joy. Back to center. So any second now we'll be getting to the part where we do the final 3 recitations. The final 3 recitations can be found when you use the link to go to the class materials page on the website, and you download the latest free version of the PDF entitled First Set of Lesson Texts. So here's the deal. Each lesson, and there's about 24 texts for about 8 lessons each, or for a total of 8 lessons. Each one ends in 3 verbal recitations. By reciting these recitations helps to multiply and protect your good karma as well as lovingly share it with others. And if you recite it twice a day every day, within a handful of weeks you will have accidentally memorized it, which will make the concluding yogas we do even more meaningful. So I invite you now to join me in the cat-cow asana. Open mouth, slack jaw, now to each give comfort. Okay, weight on the major minor ball of each foot behind the big and little toe, heels off the carpet. Subtle bend in the knees, hips thrust forward, hands laced behind the tush, chest open, head dropped, gaze rolled up. How could this be funny? Bring with cheeks releasing. Noticing, relaxing. So, we're now going to combine the 3 recitations with the 4 final bows. It sounds lame, but it works. Let's perform 2 repetitions of 12 phase sun salutation. By this virtue may I now accomplish the spontaneous, habitual, easy, and effective mastery of Buddha's mental yogas, of wisdom, peace, love, and joy. And now lead every living being, without exception, to this ground. May everyone be healthy, wealthy, and happy. May everyone practice skillfully and joyfully. and would accomplish and then help many others do likewise. For truly that is the meaning of life. Om Mani Padme Hum. Let's conclude with 2 repetitions of Vietnamese-inspired bows. May I always be cared for throughout all my lives by the Buddha of compassion, emanating as my kind teacher. And as such may I always enthusiastically and joyfully tread this excellent path praised by the conquerors. Okay, my friends, I thank you for your time and your kind attention. I thank you for your support and for your enthusiasm to be your best, not just cosmetically or physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Before you go, I'd like to invite you to click the subscribe button. It should be over here, as well as the like button and the share button. At the very end of this video, I invite you to find the big old YouTube button just past this corner. Give it a click, it'll take you to your home page. If you scroll down on the left-hand side, you'll find a tab that reads Manage Subscriptions. Look up either Lama Jigme or Tantric Sex God 1. And to the right, you'll find a box. Use your mouse to put a check mark in that box. That way, you'll receive a video notification the next time that I upload a video. I'm sorry, you'll receive an email notification the next time I upload a video. That makes much more sense. Now, remember those links I told you about below the video? You could use one of those links that helps keep this monk fed, which is lovely, but not mandatory. And you can use another one of those links to register for the next series of live weekly webinars. When do they begin? Tuesday, the 2nd of July. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.